without this kind of hostility. But apparently when people challenge cherished beliefs, they get lots of flack from mediocre minds. Einstein said that
Great spirits have always encountered
violent opposition.
Violent opposition from mediocre minds.
Yeah.
That's a great Albert Einstein quote.
One of his best quotes. That and the World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Do you think we're in World War III right now? Do you think that possibly this is World War III? That maybe it started when the coalition of the willing, all these nations, 45 nations attacked Iraq? Remember that, 2000? It's kind of like the start of this entire nightmare that we're all living through right now.
7.
Oh, are we up to 7 already?
I don't know. All I know is the other number that you put in said 6.
Then I had 7 already. 7 already perp reminders tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
So it's been a good show for the most part.
Yeah, it has been.
Right?
I should get together a list of things to play for tonight. So that's something I'm going to do. David, can you send some RFID chips? No, I don't believe in that stuff, man. You know that. I'm against the RFID chipping of the American people.
Oh, so what are they moving to? Virginia's finally dropping America's worst voting machines, according to Scissor Fight's Wired article.
That's a good thing.
Yes, he made the list a few days ago. Still too lazy. I think it was Saturday night he made that list.
Okay, I'm going to start you out with a bombshell video about how the Obama administration lied about Syria. That was a really interesting story. You know, the whole story of the gas weapons killing off all the Syrians, that never turned out to be any truth to that. And it would have put us in war. That's right when America's Third Party started our anti-war rally, right at that same time. Wesley Clark talking about, former presidential candidate Wesley Clark talking about democracy, the truth about wars and what starts them. We'll go from there. And his recent discussion of ISIS and their connection with Hezbollah. Okay. Then I'll get into some really weird picture of George Bush. George Bush's wife, Barbara Bush, related to Aleister Crowley. That's pretty interesting. Direct relationship to Aleister Crowley, Barbara Bush. Yeah. Lots of stuff in the conspiracy realm that we haven't touched on lately. Apparently his head is in the way.
Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television.
Now, oftentimes when you see things like this, you immediately think, oh, gee, is this a shill? I do. I don't trust anything I get from anything connected to Alex Jones. But a lot of times, you get a very biting testimony here about how our country is really pushing too far into Syria, and we don't need to be. There's no real strong purpose there. And he really encapsulates this in this video. But we'll be doing this along with a few other videos later tonight. Cool. Yeah, I think he is a shill. But a lot of that stuff they're talking about on those channels are often truth mixed in with mind-bending, controlled opposition. Now, when I say mind-bending, controlled opposition, they're really trying to play point-counterpoint on every issue and separate the American people, keep us divided. And when you see stories about racial strife in America, most of those are hype. Most people get along with other races. It's not as big of a divide that they... So a lot of hype in the media, and much of that is processed, in my opinion. They're trying to create a division in America so that we don't unite and form this amazing third party, ironically.
I would say, Bro Beans, you need to believe in the voting system that is in place. No, you're not going to go on a list if you vote for David. That is why we have a secret ballot in the United States of America, so that you can vote for who you believe in.
Yeah, we're 100% FEC approved,
You're
compliant.
Cap lock, just so you know.
Oh, thanks. I hate cap lock. Thank you. Yeah, Federal Election Commission compliant with all their laws.
Actually, we're beyond that. I mean,
we are beyond that.
Actually, I send information into the FEC every 3 months voluntarily, because I'm not required to, because we haven't received enough donations to qualify for requiring to do so.
Okay, Shrek is validating Chris Green. He said he's a good guy. He's personally met him in Arizona. Thank you, Shrek. Yeah, so we'll watch his video a little bit, and then we'll go into that from that perspective. But it's been a long haul this week, and I can tell you, after doing the Cairo interview today, I'm kind of beat. You know, I didn't mind talking out in front of my house to Cairo, and I'm glad that they came out and talked me into it. I reluctantly did this. I actually was talking through the door saying, you know, I really don't want to talk to you guys because you didn't play my last video from last year. But she was a very good person, and she really, you know, kind of evoked a response from me, and I gave them the truth about what happened to us on that fateful day. So we are reeling from the experience, so I'm probably going to close down at 9 tonight. So it just doesn't make me feel like doing an after show or an extended show. I feel like just spending time with Sarah and watching some TV or something, you know?
Just chatting.
And just chatting and talking about the day. But when we talk about conspiracies, folks, I'm in no way endorsing conspiracy theory. I'm trying to figure this out just like you are. We're trying to find out what really is propelling our nation. Yes, Grua, I was on Cairo, thank you. What's really propelling our nation to make mistakes and have this foreign policy that seems to be all over the place? What's really working behind the scenes, and how can a president redirect things and help formulate policy that makes sense for people getting along with other countries as opposed to starting wars? I don't believe that starting a war is going to help our economy. I think that's really an old vision some people have, and I know that all wars have been bankers' wars, so that's not the answer to fixing the real problem. We have an even bigger war for humanity, and that's saving the environment. Now, all of the nations can unite under the banner of saving the environment and making a better place for their children. That's a common theme throughout all of our nations. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Yeah, so the background is cool, and it always was in 1998. And you know, we're still living with a cool background behind us. Thank you for asking, though. The background. Would you rather I brought the aliens back into the show? Because that was more fun. You know?
Radio absolute wrong.
Anyway, so I saw these aliens above my house in Orange County, California in 1967. I didn't see aliens. I saw UFOs.
I don't know about that music.
I know. I saw UFOs, and I went downstairs to tell my family members, and no one was home. I was kind of like home ahead of everybody from school. And there was no one to corroborate it, but I went on looking on the MUFON Society recently, and lo and behold, 200 different other people in Orange County in 1967 saw these discs in the sky. So it wasn't just me. It was a lot of contributing forces. All right. It's giving you motion sickness? Okay, I'll try to be more still. Would it be better if I just went back to that? All right. Thank you. All right, so we talked about a lot of fun stuff tonight. We didn't touch on 9/11 because that's for tomorrow. We'll talk about 9/11. Most of the discussion didn't revolve around false flags. We didn't talk about Sandy Hook or anything, and that's a good thing because Sarah doesn't believe that Sandy Hook was anything but a terrible loss of life. Many of you are still of the belief that there's false flags going on to trigger gun control, and that's concerned. We did talk about Jade Helm. Thank you. MUFON has past sightings lists. Oh yeah, big time, old Irish. MUFON has a whole list of 600,000 sightings of UFOs. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's just a series of events that are happening at the same time, Tomato Girl. A lot of people are really interested in the third party. So if you've got a candidate who's willing to take on the tough issues that some Americans won't even go out and vote because no one addresses them, like ending the Fed or legalizing marijuana. Bless you. We take on those tough questions every single night. And I'm going front row with any issue you want, anytime you want to talk about it. Sarah Bach, there's no cognitive dissonance. I support a strong defense for our nation. That involves airstrikes when necessary to mitigate a long-term loss of life. If we have ground targets that are checked with signals on the ground and everything is matching with the UAV system, that we could use that effectively to stop an enemy, but not